Hello everybody. Welcome to today's session. Okay, today is the last session for our current affairs, science and technology. Okay, science and technology part 5 out of 5. Okay, so yeah, we have already covered 4 out of the 5 sessions. Yesterday there was a marathon session that went around 4 hours. Okay, so actually this is our 9th hour into the science and technology area. And today we will be looking into some last topics that we have left around that deals with current affairs that has came in newspapers recently and could be useful for your prelims. Okay, so whatever it is, we will mix it up. There are some things from biotechnology, something from defense, some from ISRO, and all those things. Okay, together whatever is left is going to be covered in the this particular session. All right. So before that, let me tell you something about Unacademy, because that is the reason why we are able to cover all this, right? Uh, so Unacademy is India's largest learning platform. Okay. It gives you daily live classes, live tests and quizzes, structured courses, unlimited access to all the resources. Okay. So we are having one of those daily live classes now. You can chat with me using the YouTube chat, live chat itself. You can ask questions, discuss your thoughts, and all those things. Live test, yeah, I take a everyday test at 4 p.m. MCQs, current affairs MCQs, okay? Current affairs MCQs every day at 4 p.m. 25 questions will be discussed, and the answers will be given. It will be done as a quiz only. You can post the answers, we will discuss it, and I give you the answer. And then I have at 6 p.m. at the Unacademy app. Okay, this one is at YouTube, and 6 p.m. at Unacademy uh, app, and that one will be related to ancient India. Ancient India. Okay, again 25 MCQs, 1 hour. So do tune into all this. Okay, it will help you to gain confidence during your examination hall. All right. Then you have the structured courses where you will be directed, or you will be traveling through that particular syllabus for that particular examination, and it will help you to completely cover all the topics that are relevant for your examination. So in order to do all this, all you have to do is download the Unacademy app, which is freely available in your Google Play or App Store. Okay, simply download it, create an account, and you can start watching all the videos. Also, you can get a subscription for entire coverage. I will tell you the details soon. So something about me, I am Madhav Sankar R Warrier. I have been in the field of teaching for about 5 years now. Okay, Unacademy underscore Madhav. This is my Telegram channel where I will be updating the class schedule and all. So do look into this. And this is my Unacademy channel where you can watch all my quizzes and other special sessions that I have taken. I have completed about 10 sessions in the Unacademy app. So please do look into that as well. So Unacademy offers you great educators, top educators from the throughout the country in almost all the subjects. So you can chat with them, interact with them, ask them your doubts by sitting at your home with a laptop or a smartphone. That's all you need. Okay, so make the most of it and get a subscription, guys. Get a subscription. You can get a subscription for any competitive examination. So the UPSC CSE channel looks like this. Everything the UPSC Civil Service Examination demands is provided by Unacademy, including optional courses. Some of the optional courses are pretty hard to get in your locality, but you might be wanting to look into that subject. Unacademy has almost all the optional subjects you can ask for. Okay, so please do look into that. Very, very important. These are the subscription packages starting from 1 month all the way to 1 year. This is a preferred package. Why? I will tell you. This is the plus subscription. Okay, we have two subscriptions. One is plus and other is iconic. Plus is actually given in two packages, 1 year and 2 years. 1 year package is worth 44,000, and upon using my code MSRW1 you can get it at 39,600 after a 10% flat discount. Alright, you can share this with your friends also. If you use this code you will get 10% discount on any Unacademy subscription. And here is the 64,000 package. Again, You will get 10% discount upon using my code. So what is the difference between Plus and Iconic? Iconic gives you one mentor, a personal coach. He or she will be there with you throughout your examination preparation, giving you guidelines, giving you, answering your queries, giving you feedback. So it is like a one-on-one session. Okay, so that is one additional thing. Then you will get to have daily mains question answer practice. That is the best way to crack mains. Write as much as possible, right? Then you will get a study planner and a personalized feedback. All these are the additional bonuses that come with Iconic subscription. If you are planning to write in 2021, go for this. 2022, this one, or 2022 or later, this one would be a ideal package. So these are the rates again. 1 year, the discount is applicable here as well if you can use my code, and for 2 years it is 99,000 reduced to 89,100 if you use my code MSRW1. Okay, so peep into my Unacademy channel. This is how it looks like. These are my initial videos there regarding educational system and all, but I have uploaded more and more videos already, so do look into that. Okay, and join me every day at 6 p.m. Okay, every day other than Sunday, 6 p.m. for the Ancient India quiz that is going on. So that is it. We are going to cover the last part of science and technology. Whatever is left will be covered in this particular session. Okay, more and more topics will keep on coming in news, so just read the newspaper and try to append information. Okay, write short notes from the Hindu so that you can go on updating your knowledge. All right, so the first topic for today is regarding space. Okay, space, geography, or whatever you want to call it. So the topic is all about annular solar eclipse. Annular solar eclipse. So before we go into what is annular solar eclipse and all, let's first look at what actually a solar eclipse is. Okay, this is your basic geography. You have studied this in your, I don't know, 7th or 8th standard NCERT. Okay, so I'm just going to explain what solar eclipse is first, and then we will look into the types of solar eclipses, and then we come into the annular solar eclipse part. So what is a solar eclipse? So here is a diagram. I hope it is visible. Okay, so here we have the sun, we have the earth, and we have the moon in between sun and earth. This is the primary condition in creating a solar eclipse. Solar eclipse means what? We cannot see the sun. Sun is being eclipsed. Okay, so the moon has to come in between, which blocks the view of the sun. So here it is, the earth, the moon and the sun all are in a very straight line, as you can see here, right? And the moon is blocking the sun's light from coming to earth. So if you watch closely, there are plenty of ways that happens, and here if we take this particular line, you will see that this is, whatever is between this cannot be seen at all. It is complete darkness, right, between these two lines, and this is called complete eclipse, or it will form the umbra. Umbra means total shadow, darkest part of the solar eclipse. And then you have the penumbra, that is another rays. If you take it like this, okay, here we go, and another layer like this. So whatever is here in this light blue region, it is the penumbra. Penumbra means some rays are passing through while others is not. So it is a secondary shadow, not that dark, but it is not perfectly light as well. Okay, this is the penumbra. You have studied all these in your geography textbooks earlier. So region where you get the umbra or the darkest shadow is known as total eclipse. Complete eclipse. Nothing can be seen. Sun is totally eclipsed. The region where you get the penumbra, which means between dark and light, okay, something in average, between, middle, it is called partial eclipse. Okay, only partly the sun can be seen. Okay, so this is how basically a solar eclipse occurs. Now let's look at why annular solar eclipse is in the news, and let's look at the types of eclipses. Kerala, Karnataka and Tamil Nadu witnessed the annular solar eclipse. So last year, actually, I think it was in sometime in last year or this year. It has been about 5-6 months before annular solar eclipse happened. All right. So what happened was, southern Indian states like Kerala, Karnataka, and Tamil Nadu were able to get a full annular solar eclipse, while the rest of India saw partial solar eclipse. Okay, so let's look into what these things are. So solar eclipse happens when moon comes in between sun and earth, partly or fully. So if it comes partly, it is partial eclipse. Fully means complete eclipse. So what are the types of eclipses? There are 4 types actually. One is the total eclipse, total solar eclipse, which is very rare and at any particular location, because totality exists only as long a narrow path on the earth's surface. I have already told you. See this, only this small stretch in this diagram. I am making it red, okay? Only the area which I have now painted with red gets the total solar eclipse. Only a very small area. The entire earth will not be getting a total solar eclipse. It happens only in new moon. Okay? Only in new moon period. You know that different phases of the moon, right? New moon, then you have the crescent, then half moon, then you have 3/4, and finally full moon. Again goes to new moon. So moon keeps on rotating around the earth and will be providing these kinds of shapes: half moon, full moon, new moon. Okay, so total solar eclipse will occur only during new moons. So what is the peculiarity of new moon? You cannot be, the moon is not visible to you. It is entirely dark. Why? Because when you look at from earth, sun is behind the moon, so the sun's rays will be received at the other end of the moon. Okay, so from here we cannot see anything. Entirely dark, a dark circle. That is all what we can see. So total eclipse only occur during new moon. The moon is near its perigee. What is perigee? Perigee means the closest point of the moon from the earth. So this distance between earth and moon is not always the same. It is sometimes more and it is sometimes less. So if it is closer, then the moon is called, the position is called perigee, and if it is at the furthest, it is called apogee. Let me explain it to you with a diagram. This is the earth. Okay, we have the earth, and here is the lunar orbit. Alright, so if the moon is here, then you have the perigee. Why? Because the distance is pretty small. If the moon is here, you have apogee, because it is the furthest distance from the earth. Okay, so this is your perigee and this is your apogee. Don't forget. This can be said in relation between earth and sun also. When earth is closest to the sun, it is called perigee or perihelion, and earth is furthest from the sun, it is called as aphelion. Okay, so perigee and apogee with the moon, perihelion and aphelion with sun, between earth and sun. Understood? Now the moon is at a lunar node, so the earth, the moon and the sun are aligned at a straight line. This is a lunar node, means just understand that there are some positions in the lunar orbit which are called lunar nodes, and these are the areas when these sun, earth and moon aligns in a straight line. Okay, such positions, unique positions, are known as lunar nodes. But it is not necessary that every time moon comes into a lunar node it has to be a total eclipse, because moon's axis of rotation is about 5 degrees tilted from the earth's surface. Okay, so this difference in the angle will cause different kinds of eclipses. You need not go into that depth, actually not important. Just understand that during the total lunar eclipse, the moon will always be at a lunar node. Okay, then we have the second type of eclipse, which is the partial solar eclipse. So what is partial? Partial, the word itself says some part of the sun is visible, the other part of the sun is in darkness, is not visible. So the shadow of the moon appears on a small part of the sun. So yeah, you can look at this diagram. I have marked what partial eclipse is. It is the area of the penumbra, which means half of the sun's rays will go there, but the other half will be blocked by the moon. So it is only partly eclipsed. So half of the sun will be visible from the earth. Okay, this is known as partial eclipse. Moving on to Annular solar eclipse. So this is our topic for the day. This is what happened about 6 months ago. So what is annular solar eclipse or ASE? You can see this diagram before I explain it. So this is the partial eclipse. See, this is the sun, okay? These are all the sun, not the moon, remember? So this is the moon's shadow, okay? Moon's shadow on the sun. Whatever else is visible is the partial eclipse. Because no, completely it is not eclipsed. Then you have the total eclipse. You can't see a thing. Completely the sun is covered. And then you have the annular eclipse because you can see a ring of the sun. Okay, a ring of fire kind of thing. Alright, that is called known as the annular eclipse. This is what was visible in the southern Indian states during the 6 months back. Okay, I myself watched this. Alright, so it occurs when the angular diameter of the moon falls short of that of the sun, and so it cannot cover up the latter completely. What does this mean? Sun is a very huge body, right? Giant body. Moon comes in between Earth and Sun, but the size of the moon is very, very small. So just imagine a scenario. Okay, you are putting your finger in front of your eyes to make it invisible, make things invisible. If you put it too close to your eyes, nothing will be visible, right? It will completely block everything up. This is your total eclipse. Okay, if you put the finger a bit more back, then many things in the surrounding will be visible, although certain things will still remain invisible. This is what happens here also. So here is the earth and here is the sun. Okay, sun and earth. So if the moon is close by, like for example here, then the moon can completely stop the sun's rays from particular portions in the earth. It will result in total solar eclipse. But if the moon is somewhere like here, then the moon is not big enough to completely stop the sun's rays anywhere on the planet Earth. So only partly it can do that because moon is a smaller disk compared to sun. That is what is causing the annular solar eclipse. Let's look at the criterion for this thing to happen. There should be new moon, obviously. So for total eclipse as well as annular eclipse, new moon is a must criteria. The moon should be at a very near lunar node. So it should be a lunar node. I already told you that. Moon should be near apogee. Apogee means the furthest point from the earth. Okay, so if it is too close by, then you will get a total eclipse. But if it is in the apogee, then the moon is not big enough to completely stop the sun's rays. So you will get that outer ring of the sun back into the earth, and you will see annular solar ring. Okay, so these are the criteria. Bailey's beads. What is Bailey's beads? This is a thin fragmented ring caused by the passage of sun's light through the rough edge of the moon. Whatever you can see here in this diagram, you can see this ring here, right? And that ring of fire of sunlight is known as the Bailey's beads. Okay, just for your information, Bailey's beads. Only time when one can find two shadows for everything at all the sides of the sunlight. Very important. Why? Because when there is partial eclipse, there is one thing, part of the sun is still giving you rays, which means there is only one light source. So number of shadows will still remain one. When it is total eclipse, then no sunlight, so no shadow. When there is annular eclipse, then you have rays coming from different sources. The center portion is blocked and every other point will act as a light source. So you will have at least two shadows from the sun. There is no other time where sun gives you two shadows. It's always one. But during annular solar eclipse, the sun will give you two shadows. Okay. What is hybrid eclipse? This is the last one, fourth one. Okay, this is the third one and this is the fourth one. Hybrid eclipse. Very rare eclipse. Okay, where the eclipse will only be annular for the first few seconds and then total eclipse. So it is a mixture, hybrid. Hybrid means mixture of at least two things. Here the thing is, starts as an annular eclipse and then goes into a total eclipse. Okay, for the first few minutes or the few seconds, it will be annular and then total. This is a very rare condition and this is known as hybrid eclipse. So these are the 4 types of solar eclipses that can occur. Okay, I hope I am very clear. I hope you understood. Let's move on to our second topic for today. So what is this topic about? This is about yellow rust. I told you this is a miscellaneous group. I have whatever I have not taught in the previous 4 classes, I have put it up together. There is no particular order or particular categorization. Okay, about 10 to 15 topics are there today, mixed up. So what is yellow rust? You can see the figure. Okay, here it is. You can see the wheat. This is a photo taken by Eugene in a wheat field. Okay, and yellow rust is this kind of yellow powder that you can see in certain wheat plant. All right, so it has been in the news because yellow rust has been discovered in Punjab and Haryana. Punjab and Haryana are some of the areas which have vast wheatlands or wheat cultivation farms. Okay, and this has been recently visible in these 2 states. Appears as yellow stripes of powder or dust on the leaves and leaf sheaths of the wheat crop. This is it. Yellow stripes. See, yellow stripes, also a bit powdery. Alright, that appears on the leaf area of wheat fields. Occurs when the rust colonies in the leaf drain the carbohydrates from the plant and reduce the green leaf area. Yeah, they are yellow in color. They drain the carbohydrates from the plant, and when the carbohydrates are drained away, the plant will actually lose the green chlorophyll in that region and will turn yellowish. Okay, that is what happens with yellow rust. Rain, dew, fog, etc. favors this kind of development. So it is the rainy or the monsoon season, the winter season are all favorable for the development of yellow rust. Yield due to the disease can be affected between 5 and 30%. So obviously, when a plant, the more the green the plant is, the better will be its produce, right? Because more chlorophyll, more sunlight, better food production, photosynthesis. But when a part of it is covered by yellow, then that much area is cascaded or that much area is blocked or prevented from photosynthesis. So the yield will obviously come less, below, about 5 to 30%. Major disease in the northern hill zone, northwestern plain zone, and spreads easily during the onset of cool weather when wind conditions are favorable. Yeah, this is more visible in the northern part of India, especially hilly region, or also the plain zones in the west. Remember these 2 states, Haryana and Punjab, so you can get an idea. It is in northern India, partly hilly, partly plain. Alright, also winter and monsoon seasons are the most favorable for yellow rust. Breeding resistant varieties is the most cost effective method to control this. So there are, whenever something like this or disease attacks a plant, we take multiple measures to prevent it. We go with herbicides or pesticides, right? We go with some other transplantations or hybridizations using GM crop. But the best way to move forward as far as yellow rust is concerned is using the breeding resistant varieties. So these varieties are resistant to the yellow rust, and that is the best way to move forward and putting all this back. Okay, so I hope you understood what yellow rust is. This is all you need to know. Identify the states, identify what exactly is yellow rust. You just remember this figure and you won't forget. You can see a wheat leaf there, so it is related to wheat only. It is not rice. Remember, sheath blight. Sheath blight. This is a disease that happens on rice, not wheat. Okay, this is on rice. Yellow rust is on wheat. Okay, don't forget these kinds of things. All right, that is 2 down. Okay, and yeah, now we are going to look into a scientific personality. All right, why is this important? Because recently, last year, we celebrated his 100th birth anniversary. 100th birth anniversary centenary celebrations were conducted by ISRO and VSSC. Indian Space Research Organization, and the Vikram Sarabhai Space Center, named after the legendary Vikram Sarabhai himself. Alright, so yeah, here is a diagram showing Vikram Sarabhai. This is Vikram Sarabhai, and this is another NASA scientist. They are signing some deal for some rocket projects, not important. Alright, so this is the personality that we are going to talk about. 100th birth anniversary celebrations was recently conducted by ISRO and BSSC, and Mr. Sarabhai was born in 1919, so 2019 was 100 years. Okay, and he has been one of the pioneers of space education or space research in India. Indian government set up the Indian National Committee for Space Research, that is INCSR, INCOSPAR. Okay, Indian National Committee for Space Research in 1962, and Sarabhai was actually the first chairman of this committee. This committee was later, after 7 years in 1969, renamed as ISRO, Indian Space Research Organization. So, INCOSPAR was the older name of ISRO back in 1962 when it was created under the chairmanship of Vikram Sarabhai. After 7 years in 1969, its name was changed into current name, Indian Space Research Organization. So, what are other achievements of Mr. Sarabhai? Founded the Physical Research Laboratory at Ahmedabad in the year when India got independence. Laboratory started operation from Retreat. Retreat is the name of his residence in Ahmedabad. Okay, so Physical Research Laboratory was made by him, and the first topic of research was the cosmic rays. Cosmic rays means those radiations that come from outer space or from the space. Those are known as cosmic rays. Okay, there are many kinds of cosmic rays, alpha, beta, gamma, all are there. So the first study by the Physical Research Laboratory in Ahmedabad, set up by Mr. Sarabhai, was about cosmic rays. Also set up India's first rocket launch site in Tumba. Be very careful here. People tend to go for Sriharikota. Sriharikota is indeed one of the top rocket launching sites in India, but it was not the first one. First one was Tumba in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala, capital of Kerala. Okay, it is known as TERLS, TERLS, Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station. Okay, Tumba Equatorial Rocket Launching Station, that is TERLS. That was set up by Mr. Vikram Sarabhai in Thiruvananthapuram. Also responsible for bringing cable television to India. Okay, here his constant contact with NASA paved the way for the establishment of satellite instructional television experiment in 1975. So he's a very accomplished personality. Many research foundations has been set up by him. Also, the first person to bring television cable or cable television into India. Masterminded the first satellite of India, Aryabhatta. We know that, right? We know all about these satellites, Aryabhatta, Bhaskara, and all those things. And Aryabhatta, the first Indian satellite, was masterminded by Vikram Sarabhai. Founding member of Indian Institute of Management, Ahmedabad, one of the most premier agencies of management studies. Right, MBAs. You go to your MBAs, and IIM Ahmedabad is your number one priority, number one choice. And this was actually founded by Mr. Vikram Sarabhai. Lastly, some of his awards: Padma Bhushan in 1966, Padma Vibhushan in 1972. Padma Bhushan is the third highest civilian honor in India. Padma Vibhushan is the second highest civilian honor in India. First one is Bharat Ratna. Okay, so he has received Padma Bhushan in 66 and Padma Vibhushan in 72, and this was posthumously. Okay, Padma Vibhushan was conferred on him posthumously after his death. So this is all you need to know about Vikram Sarabhai. Alright, just understand some important points and that's it. Rare earth elements. So we are moving from space to chemistry now. Okay, so what are rare earth elements? Why is it in the news? What are its importance? What are its chemical properties? So we are going to look into some of these things. It was in the news because US Army plans to fund a construction for the rare earth processing facility to secure domestic supply of minerals that are used for military weapons and electronics. So this is in news because the American military actually funded a project involving rare earth elements, which can actually increase or enhance their weapon and electronic systems. Okay, that is the reason why it is in the news. Also, first financial investment by US military into commercial scale rare earth production after the Manhattan Project. So they has not, US military has not invested in commercial scale rare earth production before. This is the first time that is happening after the Manhattan Project. What is the Manhattan Project? The project that developed atom bomb. Okay, that is the Manhattan Project, atom bomb. After this particular project, this is the first time US military is commercially or investing in a commercial scale rare earth production. Okay, sorry about that. Okay, rare earth minerals are a set of 17 metallic elements. There are 17 in number. You have to remember this number also. Okay, because that is a scientific number, 17. 17 metallic elements, including 15 lanthanides on the periodic table, and addition to scandium and yttrium. Scandium and yttrium has some chemical and physical properties that are common with your lanthanides, so they are also added into the rare earth metals. Okay, lanthanide, you have seen this lanthanide actinide series, right? So they are put below your periodic table. 15 of them are there. So 15 lanthanides together with scandium and yttrium forms rare earth metal. Not that rare and are relatively abundant on Earth's crust. They are known as rare earth metals, but it is not so rare. Alright, that is also an important point to remember. Should not get confused based on the terminology. Distinctive electrical, metallurgical, catalytic, nuclear, magnetic, and luminescent properties. So each metal has its own different properties, and this group of rare earth metals has many common unique properties related to them with regard to electrical, metallurgical, catalytic, nuclear, magnetic, and luminescent properties. Uses ranges from daily use to high-end technology. So rare earths are used for daily businesses as well. For example, your lighter or some kitchen utensils. Many things are actually employs your rare earth minerals, and high-end technologies as well, like lasers, magnets, telecommunication cables. So all these things use rare earth metals. These are the applications that you can have to remember. Futuristic technologies. Okay, futuristic technologies means those technologies that we see for the future, we think will make the future. Okay, these are also appealing as far as rare earth metals are concerned. For example, superconductivity, high temperature superconductivity, safe storage and transport of hydrogen. So these are technologies for the future, and rare earth metals or rare earth elements has a huge role to play as far as this is concerned. Due to their unique magnetic, luminescent, and electrochemical properties, they help in technologies perform reduced weight, reduced emissions, energy consumption also reduced, great efficiency, performance miniaturization, speed, durability. So anything that we want, all the all the wishful or whatever kind of properties that we look for are there in these rare earth metals. Less emission, less use of energy, greater efficiency. So these are things that we look for in any system or in any material, and these are provided by rare earth elements. Okay, so the reason why it is in news is because of the US Army. Rare earth metals is the 15 lanthanides plus scandium and yttrium, and they have their own unique properties. So these are the important points for your prelims. All right, moving on to our fifth topic, elasto-caloric effect. Hello Leah, hello Prohuman. Good morning, good morning. So what is elasto-caloric effect? Elasto-caloric, I have placed this image here in order to bring your attention to this. Okay, if I read the text that I have written here, you won't understand a single thing. But you will remember this effect if you remember this figure. It has everything to do with rubber band. Alright, what happens when you take a rubber band and actually pulls it? What will happen? What happens is the shape of the rubber band changes. Okay, it is elastic, so the shape changes. At the same time, temperature of the rubber band also increases. The temperature will increase. Okay, that is one, because the heat is given to the environment, so the surrounding temperature increases. And when we release that rubber band, what will happen? Will the shape stay like that? No, it is elastic, so it will come back to its original shape, right? At the same time, it cools down also. The surrounding temperature will drop when the rubber band comes back to its smaller shape, because it will drop surrounding temperature to itself. It is not noticeable for us because the change is very minute, but in research purposes, in a laboratory setup, this is pretty much noticeable. This is known as elastocaloric effect. Elastic, caloric means changes in energy. Okay, so there is change in form and change in energy. A typical example is the rubber band. Alright, it is the elastocaloric effect. Now let's read one by one, see if you can understand. Elastocaloric effect may help find alternatives to fluid refrigerants used in fridges and air conditioners. So I explained to you that when the shape changes, the temperature also goes up and goes down. So now scientists are thinking, can we use the same mechanism in order to cool using your ACs or refrigerators? We use some compressors and all those things right now, right? Cooling liquid, compressors, and all these are used right now. Instead of that, if we can substitute those with the elastocaloric properties, then what's the advantage there? We can reduce the use of many harmful chemicals. The compressor liquids are all actually if it leaks and all, it creates a mess. It is harmful, but we can prevent all that if we can use a simple elastostatic property of a rubber band. Elastocaloric materials are those solids which are capable of stress-induced reversible phase transformations. Stress-induced pulling or pulling a rubber band, that is stress-induced. Reversible, when we relieve that stress, it comes back to the original state. So it is reversible transformations in the structure during which latent heat is released or absorbed. When we pull the rubber band, the heat is released, and when we leave the rubber band and it comes back to its original state, the heat is absorbed. So this is the property for elastocaloric effect. Elastocaloric effect occurs when stress is applied or removed, inducing an internal transformation in structure of that material. Yeah, I already explained it. No need for any further explanation, I think. For instance, when the rubber bands are twisted and untwisted, it produces a cooling effect. When the rubber band is stretched, it absorbs heat from the surrounding, and when it is released, it gradually cools down. Okay, and the phase transformation is induced. So there is a transformation in the shape or the structure, and at the same time there is a change in the temperature. It is because in the elastocaloric effect, the transfer of heat works much the same way as and when fluid refrigerants are compressed and expanded in similar manner. So elastocaloric effect works in the same principle as that of a compressor, and hence we are looking into the possibility of replacing those compressors with elastocaloric solids. Okay, so just remember the rubber band and you are safe. Okay, that's all. Moving on to another topic, optoelectronics. This is also from your physics. Last one also from your physics, and this is again from your physics. Optoelectronics, remember this figure? You have seen street vendors with these kind of lamps, right? Optical fibers going out of a bulb, and when it lights, it will glow very beautifully. This is optoelectronics. Opto means related to light, and electronics means related to electricity. So light and electricity, this is the study of light and electricity. Now, why is this in news? This is in news because IIT Madras found a way on enhancing the optoelectronic properties of tungsten diselenide. Tungsten diselenide is a compound okay, or a mineral that have optoelectronic properties, and IIT Madras found a way to enhance this. Okay, optoelectronics is the study and application of electronic devices and systems that source, detect, and control light. So tungsten is one of the famous optoelectronic substances used in your filament lamps, right? Your old filament bulbs uses tungsten. When tungsten is heated, it produces the light. Okay, you have studied this in smaller classes. Now the IIT Madras is trying to enhance on this property, and that is why this is in news. It is based on quantum mechanical effects of light on electronic materials, especially semiconductors. So quantum mechanical effect, what is this? Don't have to look deep into this. Okay, just understand that the study is actually conducted based on this principle, quantum mechanical effects. It means quantum particles means it is a very microscopic scale of particles. I mean, the physical and chemical properties of quantum substances are different from that we see, from that we know. Okay, so for example, if you have tungsten has some physical and chemical properties, but in the quantum state, in the quantum mechanical state, the physical and chemical properties of it will completely change. It will be something entirely different that we do not know about. Okay, nothing of the physical frame of reference will apply in a quantum frame of reference. Okay, so it is based on this particular effect, and especially on semiconductors. It is done on semiconductors. Materials such as tungsten diselenide, molybdenum diselenide are being studied keenly for these properties. Tungsten and molybdenum diselenide. Key property of these materials is photoluminescence, in which the material absorbs light, generating an excited stage, and when the light of lower frequency is re-emitted. You know what photoluminescence is? It is there naturally as well. Some fishes has this property. We have seen those fluorescent lights that we used to play as when we were a child. Remember that fluorescent lights? It will or your tattoos that you used to get with your comic books. When you fix it on your palm or something, during the daytime it is mostly invisible, but during the night time it glows. Why? Because when there is light, it absorbs light and gets into a higher energy state, and afterwards, after a particular time, it will re-emit these radiations, and that is why it glows. That is known as luminescence, photoluminescence. Okay, this is both natural and artificial. Optical fiber. So some of the applications of optoelectronics. One is optical fiber. We know what are the principles used by optical fiber. Simple. It is known as total internal reflection. What is total internal reflection? TIR. If this is the optical fiber, what is happening here? The light ray will enter here, completely reflected back here. Complete reflection, no loss. Okay, usually what happens? There will be some losses as heat, or say some of it will be absorbed by the surrounding. But instead of anything like that, optical fibers completely or 100% transfers the energy from one point to another without any loss, because the medium is optical or made of optical fiber, and the source is a light, photons, not electricity. Okay, so this is 100% efficient. This is why 5G networks uses this technology, or it's also 4G LTE technology uses optical fibers for high speed data transfers, because it is completely 100% efficient with zero loss. Laser diodes. So what are laser diodes? We have seen this applied in compact disc CD players, laser printers, remote control devices, and all those things. In your CD, when you write the CD, or you the actual term is burning the disc, right? You use that Nero program in order to burn DVDs. Nobody uses it anymore, but still, that's the process. For that, a laser pointer is used, a laser diode is used. This also uses the optoelectronics property. Solar cells, obviously, solar cells deals with light, right? Photons and sun's other radiations. So it has everything to do with optoelectronics, converting light to electricity there, right? Solar cells. Light emitting diodes, LEDs. Your television, your computer monitor, most of them. Okay, some are LCDs obviously, some are plasma, but we have also LEDs. They are again a very good example of electroluminescence. Okay, don't forget that. So these are the applications of optoelectronics. You have to remember applications, very important, and the important points regarding tungsten. Okay, use of semiconductors, photoluminescence, and yeah, that's it. Basically, that's all you need to know about optoelectronics. Superconductivity at room temperature, another physics topic. So what is superconductivity? Okay, superconductivity. I will tell you why is it in the news, but before that, let me tell you what superconductivity is. You just remember this image. Okay, very important image. Superconductivity is a phenomenon in which the resistance of a material to electric current is zero. So we all know that when we use a cable, use a normal wire, okay, copper wire or something like that. When you use it and electricity is passed from point A to point B, okay, there are many losses. One, the cable will get heated up, and when it gets heated up, it will offer more resistance, and it will again get heated up. Okay, so from where does this heat come from? This heat is produced by the electricity that passes through it only. So there is loss, some kind of loss. Okay, in the transformers as well, that when the core is not actually isolated or laminated, we will have eddy currents or we will have losses. You have studied this in your school. So superconductivity is a phenomenon in which the resistance of the material is one second guys. There's a network issue. Okay, so sorry for that buffering in between. There is some electricity issues as well as network issues. I had to reconnect to a different network now. So I was talking about superconductivity, and I explained to you what a superconductivity is. It is actually the phenomenon by which the resistance of the material to the electric current flow is zero. Okay, when current is passed through an ordinary conductor such as copper, a part of it is lost to the surroundings in the form of heat. I already explained it. Low resistance means more of the supplied power gets to the intended destination. So we can use this particular property to make sure that electricity can be transported over long distances, very long distances. Nowadays, what is the issue? We have to use the electricity to more or less the area where it is created. We have the national grids and all, but it is not advisable to transfer electricity in a huge load over a very long distance because of the losses. This can be prevented by using superconductivity or superconducting materials. Okay, so this is in the news now because the Indian Institute of Science Bangalore has come up with a material which exhibits major properties of superconductivity at ambient temperature and pressure. So if superconductors had this property of zero resistance, why haven't we used it yet? Why haven't the researchers used superconductors instead of our usual cable lines? They have not used it because superconductivity has been achieved only at very low temperatures, much below 0 degrees Celsius. Okay, this property is seen in certain metals at extremely low temperatures, but these conditions or the temperature, especially the temperature, cannot be recreated in a normal scenario. Can you recreate a below zero temperature on a sunny afternoon? It is extremely difficult, right? And can we put all the electric posts and electric cables inside a refrigerator? No, right? It's absurd. So it wasn't practical so far. But Indian Institute of Science and Technology at Bangalore actually made it happen. They found out a material that which exhibits major properties of superconductivity at ambient temperature and pressure. Alright, so now it is practical. The material confirmed by the team is in the form of a nano-sized film and pellet made of silver nanoparticles embedded in a gold matrix. So this is the thing that this is what is actually employed. We have a gold matrix. Okay, this is a matrix, a gold mesh. Alright, this is in the nano sizes. Okay, nano size means 10 raised to minus 9 meters. That is the nano scale. So this is the gold matrix, and we have silver particles embedded inside this matrix. Silver. Okay, this is gold or aurum, and this is silver or argentum. Okay, this is the nano scale material they found out, which can implement the properties of a superconductor even in ambient temperature and pressure, which means at room temperature. Clear? Now, semiconductors which have zero loss of energy can be used to store power. This is also true. Normal batteries drain, right? Our power banks, our mobile phone, even if we do not use it, it will drain after some time. Even if we switch off the phone and keep it in a locker, after 1 month it won't switch on because the power might have drained by that time. This can be prevented if we use a better we replace our batteries with a superconductor. It will actually store the power for much longer period. The trains running on magnetic levitation or the maglev trains has the potential for revolutionary transformation. This is another important thing. That is why I asked you to remember this particular image. Magnetic levitation. These superconductors have some magnetic properties as well. There are magnetic fields emitting. Okay, this is the magnetic field that is emitting around this particular superconductor. Okay, and what is happening? This magnetic field has lots of magnetic properties, and the magnet that is being levitated above will react to this magnetic field and stays above without contact. Okay, so superconductors has magnetic properties that can be used to implement magnetic levitation, and that is maglev. We are looking into the potential of maglev trains these days, right? Which are highly fuel efficient, highly eco-friendly, does not create any carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide, so eco-friendly as well. Okay, so magnetic levitation is another possible thing to look at. Wire transmission in electric grids. I already told you this. Large Hadron Collider or particle accelerator. Superconductors are used to make large powerful electromagnets to accelerate charged particles very fast. In LHC, Large Hadron Collider, used to study string theory. Okay, string theory is another field in the physics. Okay, LHC was created in order to look into all this, and this also uses large magnets for super accelerating the charged particles, and the superconducting property of the materials can be used to achieve this feat. Okay, so that is all about superconductivity at room temperature. Eighth topic for the day: asbestos in baby powder. So this is a picture of asbestos. Okay, you know what asbestos is. You have the asbestos sheet on top of your house, if you know, right? Something like this. You have seen those ads which say use asbestos in order to prevent rain falling in, or to prevent corrosion and all those things. But this is what asbestos looks in microscopic scale. This figure. Look at this. Okay, this is the nano scale. Very enlarged scale. You can see it here. It is about 2 micrometer scale. Okay, so 12,000 times magnified. Alright. Talc is the mineral in clay mined from underground deposits. So baby powder, any powder that we put in on face is actually talc. Right? Talc is the softest material available on the planet. Softest material, talc. Problem is, talc is obtained from clay that is mined from underground. Asbestos is also found underground, and veins of it can often be found in talc deposits. leading to risk of cross contamination. Okay, so we get talc from underground, we get asbestos also from underground. There are chances that these two can get mixed up and cause huge issues, and this is one of the issues because traces of asbestos has been found in baby powder, and this is actually dangerous for the health. Asbestos is a set of 6 naturally occurring silicate minerals which all have in common their eponymous asbestosis form habitat. Don't get confused. Okay, these are big terms, but basically they are simple. Long, thin, fibrous crystals with each visible fiber composed of millions of microscopic fibrils that can be released by abrasion and other processes. So it means that asbestos is formed by a combination or a collection of very long fibers which are invisible to our eyes, but you can see here, see, these are all fibers, very long fibers. Okay, by intermingling each other, this is how asbestos is formed. The problem is that these fibers can break out from the central structure and get attached to other minerals, attached to talc, attached to some other minerals in the earth's surface, and cause issues, health issues. They are commonly known by their colors: blue asbestos, brown asbestos, white, and green. These are the 4 types. Okay, they are usually known by their colors. Desirable properties. So even then, asbestos has some properties that are desirable for many reasons. What are they? Sound absorption. Asbestos is a very good absorber of sound. They are used to prevent to confine sound into a particular space. If you have seen in earlier times, say 5 years back, whenever a major concert happens in very open spaces, the surrounding will be placed by asbestos sheet. Even now, when constructions happen at certain places, it is surrounded by tall asbestos sheet. Why? One, yes, it can prevent others encroaching into that area. More importantly, it can prevent sound pollution. Okay, the noise from getting out, because it is a good absorber of sound. Absorber of it has very good tensile strength, which means it doesn't break that much easily. Affordability, it is very cheap, and resistance to fire, heat, and electricity. Okay, so these are some desirable qualities that asbestos have. Inhalation of asbestos fibers can cause serious and fatal illness like lung cancer and asbestosis. Okay, asbestosis is one of the occupational hazards that are seen in people who work in the asbestos industries. These fibers will get into you through the air and cause various issues like lung cancer, asbestosis, mesothelioma. Okay, all these things. So this is all you need to know about asbestos in baby powder. Okay, now let's look at our next topic for the day, 9th one. Before that, let me just check if the connection is still strong. Yeah, connection is still strong, so I'm not able to see it. Okay, because if I open that too, then it might not, the telecast might get a bit slow. So what is National Children's Science Congress? NCSC. Okay, this recently happened in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala. This is the logo. This was the logo. Okay, National Children's Science Congress, Thiruvananthapuram, 27 to 31st December 2019. Okay, so what is Children's Science Congress? It is the latest edition of National Children's Congress held in Thiruvananthapuram. That is why it is in the news. The theme was Science, Technology and Innovation for Clean, Green and Healthy Nation. That was the theme of last year's National Children's Science Congress. We have another one, National Science Congress. This is for researchers and scientists. Okay, the younger version happens in this particular conference. Nationwide Science Communication Program started in the year 1993. So this has completed about 27 years now. It is a program of National Council of Science and Technology Communication, Department of Science and Technology. So basically a national government program organized every year annually starting from 1993. Forum for children of the age group of 10 to 17 years. Okay. 10 to 17, don't forget, that is important. Both from school as well as out of school, vocational training or some out of school, say skill training, are those kind of children are also allowed to participate within the congress to exhibit their creativity, innovation, and particularly their ability to solve societal problem experienced locally using methods of science. You have seen that, right? Children creating those machines which can actually grind cereals, or machines that can help the coconut tree climbers to climb all the way up to the tree, from creating bioplastic. We come up with great innovative ideas during this National Science Congress. This happened recently in my own town, Tirunelveli. So I have read many such interesting innovations by young school children in the newspapers. Okay, NCSTC is a registered body guided by Board of Governors headquartered at Delhi. Important point for your prelims. About 80 members spread all over India, in all states and union territories. So it is an 80-member body with the governing body situated in national capital New Delhi. Volunteers in districts lend great help and capability of implementing projects. So we have district volunteers also. Okay, that is all you need to know about National Children's Science Congress. Okay, now we are moving into defense sector. Defense. What is the topic? Sagar Maitri Mission 2. What is Sagar Maitri Mission 2? So Sagar means sea. Maitri means friendship. So it has something to do with sea and something to do with friendship. So it is a multinational sea exercise. Okay. Now let's look into the news. DRDO research ship INS Sagar 20 embarks on Sagar Maitri Mission 2. INS Sagar 20 is the research ship of Defense Research Development Organization of India. Okay. Sagar Maitri is a unique initiative of DRDO which aligns with the broad objective of Prime Minister's vision, safety and growth of all in the region. Sagar stands for safety and growth of all in the region. In the region means in the Indian Ocean region, IOR. Here it is. This is the Indian Ocean. Look at the diagram, guys. This is the Indian Ocean and this is the entire region that we are talking about. Okay. Now, promote closer cooperation in socio-economic aspects as well as greater scientific interaction, especially in ocean research among IOR countries. Just as I have told, it is a friendship between the IOR countries. Specific scientific component of DRDO is Maitri. So what does Maitri stands for? Sagar stands for safety and growth of all in the region. Maitri stands for Marine Allied Interdisciplinary Training and Research Initiative. Okay, so Marine Allied Interdisciplinary Training and Research Initiative. Sagar Maitri Mission 2 commemorates the Golden Jubilee celebrations, which is 50th year of India's lone research ship INS Kitsna mission as a part of historical international Indian Ocean expeditions which took place in 1962 and 65. So INS Kitsna was one of the legendary ships of India, which was a research vessel, and now it is 50 years. We are celebrating the 50th anniversary of that first mission of INS Kitsna. Now we are using INS Sagar 20. Okay, the prime objectives are data collection, obviously, focusing on Andaman Sea and adjoining seas, and establishing long-term collaboration with 8 IOR countries in the field of ocean research and development. So in Indian Ocean region, what are the countries? India, Bangladesh, Myanmar, Thailand, Malaysia, Indonesia. Okay, so all Sri Lanka. So all these together 8 nations will be collaborating in order to research onto the Indian Ocean, especially the North Indian Sea as well as Andaman Sea. Okay, so that is all about Sagar Maitri Mission 2. I hope I am clear. Deep Ocean Mission. What is Deep Ocean Mission? It is something like the Deep Space Mission. Deep Space Mission means we are going to explore space at huge heights. Here it is the opposite. We are going to research the deep oceans into huge depths. That is the Deep Ocean Mission. So something like ISRO's space study, except here we are going to look into oceans. deep sea mining, ocean climate change advisory services, underwater vehicles, underwater robotics and related technology. So these are some of the focus areas of deep ocean mission. Deep sea mining, ocean climate, underwater vehicles and underwater robotics. So two key projects planned under deep ocean mission are desalination plants powered by tidal energy and a submersible vehicle that can explore up to 6,000 meters. That is something like Mariana Trench, right? Mariana Trench is one of the deepest oceans, part of the ocean in the world, and this can actually go up to a depth of 6,000 meters. Mariana Trench is even beyond that, but 6,000 meters depth can be achieved using the particular submersible vehicle in the deep ocean mission. Okay, also this other one is desalination plant powered by tidal energy. Don't forget this tidal energy. They can confuse you by saying using current energy or the ocean currents. No, it is not ocean currents, it is tidal energy. Enable India to develop capabilities to exploit resources in the central Indian Ocean basin. Central Indian Ocean basin means, if you remember the Indian Ocean from this figure, central Indian Ocean is something like this area. Okay, some more is here. This region is known as central Indian Ocean. Okay, so what are the achievements or what are the targets? Explore and extract polymetallic nodules. So what are polymetallic nodules? These are small rounded accretions composed of minerals such as manganese, nickel, cobalt, iron oxide, copper, etc. So these are polymetallic nodules. Multiple metals will be there, and it will be the sizes of something like this. A bit looks more like a rounded pebble, okay, rounded rock, but immense resources, immense minerals, mineral wealth is available within these polymetallic nodules. International Seabed Authority is the agency that controls this polymetallic nodule extraction. Okay, International Seabed Authority. Autonomous International Organization established in 1982 by United Nations Convention on Laws of Sea, which is UNCLOS. United Nations Convention on Laws of Sea allots the area for deep sea mining. So this is the premier agency which tells what country or which country can mine what region of the sea. Okay, that is ISA, International Seabed Authority. And India was the first country to receive a status of pioneer investor back in 1987. Okay, so back in 1987, India was given a huge area in the sea where India had the sole proprietorship to mine all these polymetallic nodules. But later, 50% of the area was given back to the ISA by India. Now India controls about 70,000 nautical square miles or something like that. Okay, polymetallic nodules can or have been identified also from Central Pacific Ocean, known as the Clarion-Clipperton Zone. This is a particular ocean zone in Central Pacific Ocean. We have this Sargasso Sea in Atlantic, right? Something like that. In the Central Pacific Ocean, we have this Clarion-Clipperton Zone, which is a place of abundance for polymetallic nodules. According to the International Union for Conservation of Nature and Natural Resources, or IUCN, which publishes all this red data book, red list and all those things, they are saying that this is dangerous. Deep sea mining is dangerous. Why? Because it can adversely affect marine ecosystem, marine animals. Obviously, there will be some pollution, right? Whenever you dig from underground, because it is covered by water, instead of dust coming out, colloidal particles can get mixed up with surrounding water, and this, when it will go and create a a dirty water throughout, and can adversely cause harmful impacts to marine organisms. Okay, so environmentalists are all against this mission. Okay, this is the reason it can negatively impact marine ecosystem. So that is all you need to know about deep ocean mining. Okay, just remember, India, one of the first country to get the pioneer investor status. What are polymetallic nodules? What are the two key projects regarding this mission? Okay, that's more or less you need to know about this as far as your preliminary examination is concerned. Just 15 topics for today. Now we have reached 12th topic, echo network. What is echo network? Very simple. Network to encourage cross-boundary leadership is called a Encourage cross-boundary leadership, that is ECHO. Okay, identify gaps in knowledge regarding environment and then train postdoctoral leaders in research and outreach on these topics, incorporating current public and private efforts. So this is for environment, okay, environmental health. So what we are doing, we are going to identify the gaps regarding environmental protection, and we will be training postdoctoral students and researchers in order to brainstorm ideas, collaborating public and private efforts to the betterment of environment. This is ECHO. Provide a template for cross-disciplinary leadership in India with the specific focus of increasing research knowledge and awareness of Indian ecology and environment. Okay, network would develop a national network to catalyze a new generation of Indians who can synthesize interdisciplinary concepts to tackle real-world problems in medicine, agriculture, ecology, technology. This is it. Basically, we are training some excellent researchers and students along with the participation of public and private network to enhance or for the betterment of environment. Okay, so through interactive sessions with citizens, industry, academia, okay, brainstorming new ideas, and it would then go on to establishing a nationwide awareness in these issues through public discourse, education of citizens. Basically, this is an awareness program along with a leadership training. This is ECHO. So the message has to echo throughout the country. That is the idea. That is the ECHO network. Okay, the message of environmental conservation has to echo in the nook and corner, in every nook and corner of the country. Okay, now what is frog phone? Just remember this figure and you will remember what frog phone is. There is a frog and there is a phone. Okay, that is basically frog phone. World's first solar powered remote survey device that can be installed at any frog pond which receives 3G or 4G cellular network was developed by Australian institutions. So Australia, in order to study frogs, okay, in order to study the different species and varieties of frogs, they have created a remote survey device which is powered by solar energy and can receive 3G and 4G signals which can be placed in frog ponds. What are frog ponds? This is a pond ecosystem where multiple frogs are there. That's all. Simple. Okay, if there is a pond, instead of humans going themselves into that and destroying or adversely affecting the ecosystem, we are using a remotely controlled sensor which is named as frog phone, and this is the world's first sensor of its kind developed by Australia. Allow researchers to dial these devices remotely and analyze the data later. It will reduce the cost and risks, including negative impact of human presence on the field. Okay, human presence in these kind of delicate ecosystems can adversely impact those ecosystems. This can be prevented by using frog phones or remote survey systems. Monitoring of local frog populations more frequently than before, which is important because these populations are recognized as indicators of environmental health. So we have when we studied environment, we heard certain terminologies like keystone species, flagship species. So similarly, these are indicator species. Frogs are indicator species of environmental health. So humans working in there can actually disrupt this ecosystem. So we are using a remote sensoring technology. 14th one more after this and we are done. Okay, so NASA's Curiosity rover. This is actually a selfie. Okay, this is the real thing. This is a selfie taken by NASA's Curiosity rover, which is available in the NASA official website. Okay, so this is the Curiosity rover, and it is in the news because Curiosity discovered presence of methane in high amounts on Mars. It is a Mars mission, and presence of methane CH4 was found at high concentration on Mars. What does this mean? This means that methane is a gas. It's an organic compound, right? Methane. So it could mean, or it is a possibility that there was life on the surface beneath, or there was life beneath the surface. But later it was their food and then where methane is coming out. This is a potential global warming gas, and these are produced by living organisms. Okay, so NASA's Curiosity rover. Okay, so NASA's Curiosity rover. This is where we lost the connection in between, and you have seen this diagram. Okay, this is actually a selfie taken by the Curiosity rover when it went to the Mars. Importance is methane. Okay, Curiosity rover discovered high amounts of methane in Mars, and methane is considered as one of the uh, signals or the one of the possible evidences which shows that life existed in Mars previously. Because on Earth, CH4 or methane is a naturally occurring gas and it is a result of biological process. Okay, so high levels of methane in Mars may have made the scientists think that it is a possibility that life existed in Mars before. But the methane levels actually dropped down later on. Okay, so now they have reversed their theory. So cows are one of the main animals in Earth which produces methane, which is a global warming gas as well. Okay, CH4 methane. Sorry, CH4. Okay, methane can also be produced by a biotic process. So not just natural process or not just living things. Non-living things can also produce methane. The interaction of certain chemical substances can actually cause methane. Also, from deep inside the earth, methane can be emitted, especially when we dig out for fossil fuels and all. Occurs in the formations such as rocks, springs, aquifers. Okay, so these are underground sources from where methane has been produced in as far as Earth is concerned. So scientists are this is it is possible because life form existed in India in the world before in planet Earth before. So scientists thought that presence of methane in Mars may indicate presence of life form in Mars or, at an earlier stage as well. But this is not confirmed. Once it is released into the atmosphere of either Earth or Mars, it is relatively short-lived. Methane doesn't stay as methane. Okay, it will react with other compounds and quickly become something else. All right. Curiosity is a robotic rover exploring the Gale crater of Mars as part of NASA's Mars laboratory mission. Okay, it is exploring the Gale crater of Mars. It is NASA's Mars Science Laboratory mission or the MSL. Okay, yeah, here it's written MSL. Okay, investigation of the Martian climate and geology, assessment of Gale crater, planetary habitability studies in preparation of future human exploration. Basically, a Mars rover created by NASA to study about its geography, climate, and all those things. Have you seen this film, The Martian? Is an example, or in Martian, this curiosity is actually shown. That is the rover he used towards the end to come back. Okay, that's all about curiosity. Last topic for the day, Hayabusa 2. So remember this diagram when you see Hayabusa. It is actually a vehicle designed by Japan Space Agency or JAXA in order to study Ryugu. Ryugu is an asteroid. Okay, so it is in the news because Hayabusa 2 spacecraft, which successfully made its second touchdown on asteroid Ryugu and became the first ever space probe to gather material from beneath the surface of an asteroid. So studying asteroids are important. Why? Because asteroids have not undergone much changes since its birth. So origin of the universe can actually be studied by studying an asteroids. Earth is a planet that has undergone lots of changes because of human interaction and interaction by other living organisms. But that has not happened in the case of asteroids. So studying them is very important. For that, Japanese Space Agency JAXA sent in the Hayabusa 2 spacecraft to asteroid Ryugu. Okay, 2005 Hayabusa 1, the first version, has landed in the Itokawa asteroid. Became the first spacecraft to return asteroid samples to Earth analysis. Do you understand the difference? Itokawa brought samples from the surface of the Hayabusa brought samples from the surface of Itokawa. Hayabusa 2 is bringing samples from beneath the surface of Ryugu. Hayabusa 2 was launched in 2014 and rendezvoused with the near-Earth asteroid Ryugu. It is in the process of surveying the asteroid for a year and a half and departing in December 2019 and returning by December 2020. So we are expecting this asteroid to come back in another 4-5 months. This spaceship. Okay, with these samples of asteroid Ryugu. Hayabusa 2 carries multiple science payloads for remote sensing, sampling, and 4 small rovers. So it is an assortment of machines that is in there for conducting all studies for remote sensing, sampling, and all these things. Okay, Ryugu is a C-type asteroid, a relic from the early days of solar system. I told you, no much change has happened. So studying it will give you an idea about solar system as it began, the Big Bang. Okay, scientists think that C-type asteroids contain both organic matter and trapped water and might even be responsible for bringing both to Earth. So this is the speciality of C-type asteroid. It is a possibility, or scientists believe that they have organic matter in it and they have trapped water in it. And maybe one of those asteroids brought organic matter and water to Earth. Okay, so this is one of the assumptions. So that's all about Hayabusa 2, and we came to the end of this session. I hope you understood everything I taught. The PDF will be shared in the channel owned by Unacademy. So please do like, subscribe, and share. And please use my code MSRW1 to get a 10% discount. Okay, guys? So 4 p.m. quiz is there. Make sure you come back at 4 p.m. 25 MCQs on current affairs, and 6 p.m. at the Unacademy channel. You will get 25 MCQs on ancient India. Make sure you attend both these sessions. Okay? So that's it from me for now. So until later, this is bye. Okay? Yeah.